Okay, so I'm going to do an unboxing of a cheap watch that I just got off Amazon. This is a Starking AM0269, and what I'd like to do is do a comparison after I do the unboxing to a FEICE, I believe it's called. There's another reasonably priced watch on Amazon as well. Both automatics, both very, very similar in styling and features. And but this one is a quarter of the price. So I thought it'd be good to do a side-by-side comparison. So this is the Starking. Not too fancy of a wrapping, but does the job, protected it, getting it here. Got a little white box. Pull out drawer. Oops. Pull it out upside down. Okay. Alright, so they give you a little polishing rag. Starking watch. Just their card. Not that it's a big deal that the box is not a big presentation, but seriously, for 50 bucks, what do you expect? And what happens to watch boxes? They go in your closet. I have some really nice watch boxes that I haven't seen in years. The Starking is an AM0269. The FEICE on the left-hand side is a FM202. And these are very similar in specs, all but the price. The Starking was 50 bucks on Amazon. The FEICE was over $200 on Amazon. I actually had the FEICE for 6 months now, and I enjoy it. I like it. It's one of my favorite watches to wear as a dress watch. So I thought I'd give it a shot on this $50 Starking and see what I thought it was like in comparison to the FEICE. So just to go across the specs, they both have a stainless steel case. They're both 42 millimeters case width, 11 millimeters thickness, and 20 millimeters width on the lugs. So very similar on paper and size. However, the FEICE on the left-hand side is domed, so it does give it a different shape than the Starking, which is a very flat display case, or display crystal in the front. The FEICE has a domed mineral glass on it, whereas the Starking says, or it's labeled as a synthetic sapphire. The FEICE is listed to have a 28 jewel Swiss automatic, whereas the Starking just states as a Swiss automatic. And I've heard that basically they're making it in China, and they have Swiss watchmakers over there making it for them, but not actually made in Switzerland. The water resistance on the FEICE is 3 ATM, and the Starking claims to be 150 foot. I probably wouldn't try that on a $50 watch. The power reserve on the FEICE is supposed to be 30 hours, although the power reserve gauge goes up to 35. And the Starking, I couldn't find any information on the power reserve for it. So we'll do a comparison here on the back side. So this has a nice little clasp, safety clasp that goes over the regular clasp. And this pulls off. And the brace is actually pretty good. It doesn't have near as much slop as I expected it to for the price. And it's quite comfortable. It's pretty rigid. This adjustment seems very secure on the clasp. I was actually quite impressed. It says it's stainless steel. The display back is quite nice. It does have some kind of a metallic sticker or gear on the inside of the display back that kind of covers up the bearings, which is unique. I mean, it looks pretty nice in person. The movement does not have much detail to it. It's not polished or anything. It's very, very plain and basic. But the fact that it has a display case is pretty cool. It is very flat on the glass on the front, which gives it a bigger face look than the FEICE because of the domed, which actually makes it pretty nice, and it's quite deep inside the case is how the face sits. And the movement's actually quite noisy. Let's see if you can hear on the camera. It spins easily, but it makes quite a bit of noise, which it's not really a problem. We'll see how loud it is when I'm actually wearing it around, if it's noticeable. On the FEICE, this has a leather with the deployment, and I actually am not a huge fan of this deployment because of how thin it is. It kind of cuts into my wrist. That's the only complaint I've had about this watch, and it's only bad if I'm on the keyboard for a long time at work. Other than that, this watch is really a nice watch for the price. It's got a nice display back, a big decorated rotor, and blued screws, and it's a more decorative movement than the Starking. But anyway, I thought I would just do a comparison because these watches are quite similar in design and a quarter of the price, the Starking. So I thought it'd be a good idea to do a review and see what a $50 watch on Amazon looks like.